welcome back to review on the rest and another edition of AEW Dynamite Out of 10. This episode was titled Big Business. That's because this season's editions usually feel different, but one was a couple of big matches that was set to make this one memorable. There was a lot advertised for this card, but we all knew what we were expecting, and yet we got it to kick the show off, and that was after a brief intro by Renee Paquette and the announcers. We immediately got the debut of Mercedes Moné in AEW. Moné was serenaded by the crowd as they chanted Welton home. She thanked the crowd for its support and gave a quick recap of her life leading to now. The CEO specifically mentioned having unfinished business with Willow Nightingale. This was just over 10 minutes and did a great job allowing Moné to introduce herself, as fans may not know her. Based on the reactions she got, everyone in TD Garden knew who she was. It was a great way to kick off the show. The fans were pumped and put everything in the right mindset for the rest of the show. It was simple but effective, and yeah, so great to see Moné in AEW, back in American wrestling in general, and yeah, hopefully back fit and healthy, and yeah, really can't wait to see what she can do, because yeah, always been a massive fan of her. Before it's time for the world title match between Samoa Joe and Wardlow. Wardlow wasted no time going after Samoa Joe. As soon as the ref called for the bell, he surprised the world champion and took control immediately. The War Dabby took his rival out of the ring and to dish out more punishment, but once they got back in the ring, Joe was able to fire off some shots. The former tag partners used all of their skills to try and put each other down, but both survived and some of the biggest moves. Joe was able to retain by choking Wardlow out until the ref stopped the match. The acceleration was short. Swerve tried to get him back, and the officials but he got away. This was a fun battle. It wasn't everything we know these can do, but it was a good first chapter. With Swerve in there, it could get intriguing, but I feel like there's more to come out of this feud. So yeah, definitely intrigued to see where it can go. But I thought, like I say, good first match, 7 out of 10. Before it's time for the Elite versus Eddie Kingston and Penta and Pac. Kingston, Pac and Penta all have experienced teams together, so this wasn't just a random trio of single swords thrown together for this bout. The first half of this match was relatively straightforward. We got to see most combinations of people fighting each other, but the pace was steady and everyone was observing tags, so the multi-mile spots were used sparingly. Once we returned from the break, things began to break down in the chaos. Pac saved most of his big moves for later in the match, so he really stood out a bit. Kingston and Okada had the most personal exchange, and the two men involved in the finish when the Mad King fell to Rainmaker. This was definitely Okada's first major singles feud in AEW, and could potentially go after the Continental Crown, which could be a big win for him to win. It's a decent outing for everyone involved, and of course set out what's come. So yeah, good stuff, 7 out of 10. We then got Darby taking on Jay White, but before that, Will Ospreay gave an interview about his match with Bryan Danielson. It was short and to the point. Many people say he even wanted him to say more. So yeah, definitely needs us more, and like I say, I can't wait for that, so I'm going to keep on saying it. But yeah, Darby was heavily managed, and we know after what happened at Revolution, this was not about selling. He needed to tape out the wounds. Switchblade did what he always does and zoned in on Allen's injury most of his offense. He looked confident and often taunted his opponent between moves. As always, Allen began to rally late, using some of his risk-taking moves, and ended up missing a coffin drop, which allowed Jay White to get the win. The Guns continue to assault Allen after the match. The Acclaimed and Billy Gunn run down to the ring and stopped it, leading to White hitting Billy with a chair to officially disband the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, which is something that I felt like kind of was probably needed, to be honest. Makes sense for them to go in their different directions. Maybe unify the trios belts as well would make sense. So yeah, on the whole, gets 7 out of 10 from me. I thought a decent match, and yeah, an angle at the end which possibly needed and hopefully can help advance what they're doing at the moment, to be honest. We then saw Hook and Chris Jericho taking on the Gates and Agony, it was the latest example of the veteran team with a younger talent. This wasn't a long bout, but it was good for what it was. They have dubbed Lion Hook as a team name, but whether they remain as a duo is yet to be seen. But I think we all knew how this was going to end, with Hook getting a submission victory. Did the job, but there's nothing more than that. I'm kind of intrigued to see where this leads to more in the future, because you feel it definitely will lead somewhere. But for this alone, I'm going to give it 6 out of 10. It was then main event time with Willow Nightingale taking on Riho, and after getting a recent win over Stout, Riho was looking to continue her luck after her tag partner Willow Nightingale. This is one of the most mismatched pairings in the women's division. Riho is one of the smallest competitors in all of wrestling, and Willow a powerhouse. Riho got a lot of offense in, but still played the underdog role here, as she usually does. The AEW fans love her, but even this wasn't enough to save her from a Dr. Bomb. Willow won the main event decisively and without any shenanigans. This was a solid way to end the show. Hart and Sky Blue attacked Willow until Mercedes made the save. She took out Blue on the aisle before hitting her finisher on Hart in the middle of the ring. Willow and Mercedes post together, so it looks like any feud they have for an injury will be put on hold, but I think definitely does lead to interesting questions about her future, which is intriguing. So yeah, this was a good way to end AEW on a cliffhanger, 7 out of 10. And overall, Dynamite gets an 8 out of 10 from me. I thought, yeah, this was a really good show this week. So much happening, really. And then obviously we got the obvious question of Mercedes Moné coming in, the new feud from Blake Harder as well. Ospreay Danielson. It feels like AEW is really hotting up at the moment with the arrival of Moné. That's only going to boost it. Good first night for her. Hey guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.